Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how to split aloe vera plants. So if you've grown aloe before, you may notice that your plants are going to produce a ton of these little pups here. So these baby plants are called pups, and one mother plant can produce so many little young plants right here, and they will start to compete for resources and drain the energy from the mother plant. So it's best to, when you see these, remove them out. They're just like normal plants. You can pull them out, give it to your friends, and they will grow into a full aloe vera plant. So here are some that I've done already. I pulled them out, and I've given a bunch away already, but they still have more plants right here. And these have been over a few months. That's why they get so big. I just pulled them out of my garage for overwintering because they cannot survive freezing temperature. Okay, so pulling them out is very easy, and even if you pull completely the roots off, they will probably grow back. So I've done it so many times, and I think I've gotten 100% success rates. So let me pull them out and I will show you. Okay, so we're going to pull the plants out, and let's see, we're going to use a digging tool right here. You can just use your hand and just pull them up, but I like to do this to assist and try to get some of the roots in there. So the roots at the bottom is attached to the mother plant, so you can just cut that part off, and as you can see, there it is. And this part is cut. There's a little bit root here, so we can use that and just plant it into a new pot, and they would be just fine. Same here as well. You see, that's what was attached to the parent plant. So there's some root right here, then they will be okay. So let's go ahead and transplant them. Okay, so when you transplant your aloe vera, you need a soil mixture that would allow water to drain really well, because they don't like to have standing water for too long, because then they will rot from the bottom. They're succulent, so they have already water in the leaves, so they can go for a long time without needing to be watered. So make sure your water drains well. It doesn't matter what kind of soil you use. They're pretty simple plants. They don't care too much. But the main thing is, do not have clay where it holds water like a pool. So you need just good, well-drained soil. And also, you need a pretty good sized container if you want your plant to grow as big as the one I just showed you. They will get enormous, so give them space, and you will get more and more pups in very little time. Okay, it's as simple as that. Make sure they're nice and standing up, and you kind of push down in soil a little bit because you want to help them stay in place without falling over. And that is it. Give it a little bit of water. Water thoroughly so that the water can drain through, and don't water again until the soil is dry. Sometimes it may look dry at the top, but at the bottom it's still pretty wet, so make sure you check like that. So that's how you can tell when to water, because as I mentioned, they're succulents and they don't like to be watered too often. Alright guys, I split everything up, and the mother plant is the only thing left in that container there. And here is the newly planted pup, and then the rest I put them in my raised bed. I don't know what to do with them. I put one right here, and two over there, and there are two right here under my pear tree, and the rest I put over there. See how big they are. So that's where they'll stay until I can find a new home for those guys. So we will be back soon. Alright guys, it has been exactly 23 days now since we removed the pubs and separated them, and the plant is doing okay. So you can see here that the plant is turning this kind of like brownish color, and this is usually due to sunburn. um, this plant has been in the garage for many months, so then when I took it outside, and then I placed it in the sun. I didn't give it a period to recover or get adjusted before I put it in full sun, and this is what happened. So if you have aloe that you have indoors, or you have over winter, and then all of a sudden you put it outside in the sun, it can get scorched, and this is what happens. So make sure to, like, slowly introduce it to the different environment. So if you have it indoors, you want to bring it outside, put it in the sun for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then put it back in the shade. And then if you do that for about a week, then they should get adjusted. And you may be wondering why you have to do that because aloes are like, desert plants or whatever. But that's just with all plants. Once they get adjusted to certain environment, and then you change it, then they'll have to go through an adjustment period. So I moved it back in the shade, so it gets a few hours of morning sun, and then it gets the afternoon shade, so it's actually doing much better, and the leaves are thicker and very nice. And then when you look in the center, these are going to be the new leaves, and these will be fine because they are grown in the condition that it is right now. So they will get adjusted to a lot of sun, and they should be fine without having to go through that process. So let's go ahead and look at the baby plants that we took out. So here it is. This is the first one. Also, I left it in the sun, so a few of the outside leaves right here got burned, and then I took it back and put it in the shade, and then look at this. It's actually doing really nice. So it's growing new leaves, and the new leaves can handle full sun from now on. And the older one, some of them will die and dry up like this. So you can see it's nice and green after 23 days. So the transplant was successful. So also you need to give it some moisture in the soil. So what you should do is give it a thorough water, and then allow the soil to dry out before you water again. Because if you constantly water these plants, the roots are gonna rot and they will die because they are succulent, so they don't need that much water all the time. Okay, and for the extra plants that I didn't know where to put, I just placed them all over the place. And as you can see, the same thing happened. See, all of these leaves got burnt, but then the new ones here are coming out. See, the old ones are probably just gonna die back and dry up, but these new ones here, they will be just fine. They will grow in the heat, and they will tolerate the hot condition. Okay, and here it is. This too, I had it over here, and this soil is the wrong type of soil. You see how dry? It's all clay, and so it was just so dried, and it almost killed the plant. So I moved it into this pot here, where it's inside the lime pot. And of course the scorched leaves here, the outside, see, they're dying back, but the inside they're gonna grow. So see how tough they are. Even I sort of like mismanaged them. They still managed to survive. They're still alive right there. So the new leaves here are gonna grow, and those would be just fine where they are, but it is not dead. Okay, and for the other few that I had in the raised beds, and as you can see, the same thing is happening to all of them. It is just so hot in this part of the garden, and you can see the leaves are burnt. So that when you see your leaves look like this, that's what's happening. The sun is just burning it up because it's so used to being indoors, and I didn't give it a period to adjust, and I just took it out and placed it here. So the outer leaves are gonna die, and then they will grow new leaves on the inside. You see that? but they are alive and doing great. So make sure you do that when you transplant your aloe. Just give it a period to condition itself. Give it good soil with nice drainage. You see here, these are the type of soil you want. You don't want those clay one where the roots have trouble growing or moving around. Also, watering is very important. Give it a thorough water. Make sure the entire pot is moistened up, and then allow water to drain out, and then don't water again until the pot is dry. And that's how you transplant your aloe. So I have 2 more left. Okay, these are the 2 right here, and it is inside under this tree. And as you can see, these are wood chips, and they're just not the right type of soil for these aloe. But again, they're scorched on the outside. The new leaves inside are growing, so I can actually cut these few back and just let it be, and those will grow and become big aloe plant in a few months. You see here. So there you go, guys. That's what happens if you allow the plants to get too much sun when it is not adjusted yet. So remember, if you have this happening to your plant, it is too much sun. So move it to the shade for a few hours, and then move it to the sun for a few hours until it's completely adjusted. So that is it, guys. That is how you transplant or move your pups to different locations, and what to do and what not to do. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.